Hi, this is Marek from Tryb, and today I would like to show you a game called Forges of Ravenshire. I have received a prototype copy of this game from BA Games, and thanks for sending it for review. This is a prototype because this game will be on Kickstarter in April. I will put a link in the description of the video to the campaign page. And Forges of Ravenshire is a dice placement, worker placement game where in the land of Ravenshire they are looking for a new Forgemaster, and different blacksmiths compete for the title of the best Forgemaster, and they also are looking to earn some money. And you will create different weapons, different shields and armor. This is like a fantasy type of game, and you will try to earn as much gold as you can. This game includes a solo mode. You play against automa, so this is not a beat your own score type of game. In a second I will show you how to play this game. Just remember that this is a prototype copy and this is not the final version, so some components, even some rules may change in the final edition of this game. So let me show you how to play this game, and then I will tell you what I think about it. This is Forges of Ravenshire during a solo game. This is the main board, this is the player board, and this is the Automa AI board for the solo play. The main board has different action spots that you can see here, and during the game you will place your dice on different action spots and you will get different resources. On the left side of the board is the contract area, where you have different types of contracts, different weapons and armor and shields that you will be able to create during the game. They are divided into three decks. You have common contract, exceptional contracts and the legendary contracts. At the bottom of the game board you have the reputation track. You will be able to advance on the reputation track, but also it will give you different bonuses. It will give you gold at the end of the game, but also it will unlock different bonuses, and the stars here show which type of contract you can create. So you have to first advance on the reputation track to be able to fulfill exceptional and legendary contracts. This is the player board. It's divided into two parts. The left part is the guild part of your board, and here you will place dice that you will get from the main board, and you will run your guild. You have dice in three colors: yellow, green and purple, and depending on which die you take from the board, you will run a specific guild, gaining some resources and additional bonuses. And the right side of the player board is the production board, and here at the end of each round you will be able to create even more resources to spend them on fulfilling contracts, because the goal of the game is to get most gold, and you can get gold by fulfilling different contracts. And to fulfill a contract you need a specific type of goods. Then you can create this, for example this shield here, and it will give you some bonuses like gold, reputation and stuff like this. On the right side of the board you have different titles that you will be able to acquire during the game. Like for example this title says shield right, and if you create 5 shields, 5 contracts with shields, then you will gain 10 gold. The game is divided into 4 rounds, and each round is divided into 2 parts. First is the gathering phase, where you will put dice here and take dice from the board, and then is the production phase. In the gathering phase you have to take one of your dice. Let's say I will take this green one, and you have to put it in any free action spot on the board. Let's say I will put one here. If I put one here I can gain 3 woods, because the bonuses that the resources that you get depend on the value of the die. For 1 and 2 I get 3 gold, and I will get 1 dragon scale. The dragon scale is needed for better type of the contracts, the legendary and exceptional contracts. And after I place my die, I have to take one die from the game board, different than the one that I placed. So for example, I will take this purple 3. By taking the die, I again get the resources from the action spot that I took the die from. So for example, for 3 and 4, this is 3, I will get 2 leather. So I move my leather tracker here. I take this die and I put it on the guild side of my player board, here the purple one, and then I will gain all the bonuses that are in my purple guild. I can get 1 gold, or I can pay 1 gold to get 1 action token. Action tokens are these tokens with the hammer, and they allow to do some more additional actions. And for the second token I can get just 1 gold. So for example, I will decide to take 2 gold coins. I will add them to my gold stack. So I had to place 1 die on the game board, gain the bonuses, then I will take another die, gain the bonuses again, and the die that I took I will place on the specific guild on my player board, and I will gain the bonuses from my guild. Now it's the second player turn, but let's say it's my turn again. I will put this yellow die here. I get 2 leather. I will get this talisman here, and I take I don't know, this 4 for example, and 4 will give me 2 ember. And let's say I put all the dice here. I took some dice, I have some resources, and after all players put 3 dice here and take 3 dice, now comes the production phase. During the production phase, you can spend the 3 dice you have here on different action spots on your player board. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. Here, if you place a die here, you can run 1 guild of your chosen color. If you put a die here, you can gain 2 action tokens. If you put a die here, you can gain 2 goods, or 1 good and 1 mystic, or 1 mystic and 1 gold. Because the resources in this game are divided into regular goods like wood, or steel, leather and charcoal, or you have mystics, it's talisman, dragon scales, mithril and ember gem. If I put a die here, I can create charcoal, and you create charcoal by turning wood into charcoal. You also get some additional charcoal resource. And if you put a die here, you can create steel, and you create steel by combining charcoal and ore. So 1 ore and 1 charcoal will make 1 steel, but you also will get additional steel depending on the value of the die that you put here. So you have to make specific resources to fulfill the contracts that you have. If I would like to create this shield, I need 3 steel, 7 wood and 4 leather. And if I do it, if I have these resources, I have to subtract them from my player board, and I can put this shield on the fulfill contract spot on my player board if I would like to. And now I will get, for example, for the shield, I will gain 11 gold and 1 action token. If I would like to, I can modify this shield by giving it a mithril finish or ember gem finish. To do it, I have to spend additional resources, and the mithril finish will give me reputation, and then I will put this item on the left side. And if I pay ember gem and charcoal, I can make ember gem finish, and it will give me 4 additional gold. So you can even make the item that you create better and more interesting for your potential customers. I also told you about this action tokens, and the action tokens are used for different things. You can spend an action token not during production but during the first gathering phase. You can spend your action token to gain a contract. So you take one of the contracts from this contract area of the table. but you need to have a specific reputation. So for example, right now I have just one reputation, so I can only take contracts from the top row. You can spend one action token to refresh a row and then take one contract. You can spend action token to recruit a guild, take a guild token. At the top of the board you have 6 guild tokens, and you can pay one action token to get it. And for example, if I take this, I can add it to my board, so each time I run I will take a green die from the board, I will get additional charcoal or additional leather or additional ore, depending which guild token you choose. And you can also pay the action token to upgrade. You can take this thing from your player board and you have additional spots for your guild tokens. You can also upgrade some things on your on the production side of your board. So the action tokens give you additional bonuses, but they also allow you to reserve a contract from the contract offer. After the production phase, players roll the 3 dice they have. You have to re-roll the die on the main board. You have to check if any player gained the titles. If someone gains a title, the title is removed from the game, so nobody else can claim it in the future rounds. And after 4 rounds, you have to count your gold. You also get gold from your reputation track, and the player with most gold wins. If you want to play this game solo, there is a Automa, an artificial opponent that you can play against. AI has a specific board, and it runs really well, because at the start of the game you have to choose the rulebook tells you how to do it, but you choose which type of item the Automa will try to create first. Like this time it's shields, then swords, and then armor. Then you randomly choose which is the preferred guild for Automa, yellow, green, and purple, and then you create Automa deck. Automa deck contains different cards, but on each Automa turn you just flip the card and it tells you which die Automa will place on the board and then which die Automa will take from the board. Automa gains all the bonuses just like you, but it's more universal because Automa doesn't take wood or charcoal, steel, etc., etc. But anytime Automa gain goods, you add 1 good cube to Automa. I put it on Automa board, and when Automa has got a specific number of good tokens, it will fulfill a contract. On this reference card you have 3 difficulty levels: apprentice, artisan, and master, and depending on the difficulty level you choose, Automa needs more or less good tokens to fulfill a contract. But this is really fast. Automa turns are really quick. Just flip a card, you will place a die, take good tokens, you will take a die, place good tokens. Automa also has this guild side of the board. It will get additional bonuses, but Automa only get good tokens and will get gold. Automa can also advance on the reputation track. Then Automa will gain bonuses and gold at the end of the game, and it will get access to a better contract. So at the end of the game you have to compare your score with Automa score, and the player with most gold wins the game. So this is basically how you play Forges of Ravenshire. Forges of Ravenshire is a really fun game, and for me it combines 3 games that I really like. First, it's a little similar to Riders of Scythia, because here you have to place a die on the game board but also take another die from the board. It's like with the workers in Riders of Scythia. It reminds me a little of a role player, because you have all the dice and you don't use the dice in a typical way, so you don't roll it, but you use it as, here you use it as workers, so the color of the die matters, and the value of the dice as well. It's a little similar in the role player. And it also reminds me of Terraforming Mars, because this whole production stage of this game, where you have different resources and you can combine some resources to create other resources like the charcoal and the steel. It's really cool. Even though this is a prototype copy, the production is really good. You get all the double layered player boards, and this is really important, especially in a game where you have to track different resources. I remember the first Terraforming Mars, where you had this player sheet, this not even a board, and if you push it, all the cubes were, you know, everywhere, and you didn't even know which type of resources you had. Here you have double layered player boards, and it's really easy to track everything. And this is a quite fast game, because when I played this game solo, it takes maximum 1 hour, because the whole game is divided into 4 rounds, and I cannot imagine to play one round longer than 15 minutes, because you have 3 dice, you have to place them on the board, you will take another 3 dice, place them on your board, and then there's the production phase. Of course, probably with more players, with 4 players, where every player will spend some time on the thinking and planning, it can take more, but this is not a long game. And the rules are very intuitive and very simple. Place a die, take a die, run a specific guild, then go to production and fulfill contracts. But even though the rules are not complicated, this game is really fun, and creating the whole engine, the 3 guilds, and you get these guild tokens. So each time you take a die in a specific color, you will gain a lot of bonuses, and even more bonuses during the game, because you will get the guild tiles that will allow you to gain more resources and stuff. It's really cool. You have a lot of items to create. You need to gain a reputation in order to create better items. It makes sense, because if you want to create legendary items, you need a reputation as a blacksmith. So this is really fun, the whole resource manipulation, and this is like a Euro game, worker placement game. It doesn't have a lot of story in it, apart from the introduction I told you about. So this is mostly about, you know, placing some cubes on your player board and moving the cubes and changing one resources into other. But this whole resource engine is really fun to play. And I also really like the automa, because this is the type of automated opponent that I really like, because it doesn't take too much time to run automa turns. You just flip one card, the card tells you where to place a die for automa, which dice automa will take. Sometimes the automa will fulfill a contract, and that's really it. So you don't need much time to do it. You can focus on your game, but you have an automa with 3 different difficulty levels, and this is really cool, because sometimes I think designers, game designers, they use the simplest version for a solo mode, which is a beat your own score, and this game could also be a beat your own score type of game, because let's say they could tell you that in solo mode you can just, you know, play for your own, fulfill contracts, and then compare the gold you have gathered during the game with a table at the end of the rule book. But they didn't. They created an automa with automa deck, and this is really fun to use. It's also cool that you can use the automa in a multiplayer game. So for example, if you play a 2-player game, you can add automa, so you will have a 3-player experience. I really like Forges of Ravenshire. I hope this game will get funded on a Kickstarter, because it's really cool, really nice. And to be honest, I'm a little sad that I have to send this prototype to another reviewer. This is the downside of reviewing prototypes for Kickstarter and GameFound, that you have to send this game to someone else. So I will not be able to play Forges of Ravenshire anymore. So I'm really waiting for the final game and final product. Click the like button if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and again I will leave link to the campaign in the description of this video. together with links to my Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, where you can find more photos of this game and other solo games. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.